Happy Monday. I do this waving thing hoping that Facebook chooses this as a really pretty cover for my video and not one of the where I'm like saying something. So yeah, but it's been probably a week or two since I did an actual live video, and I kind of wanted to just show up and say hi, I'm here. And if you're joining and you can hear me or see me or this is working, say hi so I know, because it's like hard to know and they change Facebook Live. So basically today on The Life of Candace, I wanted to share why I initially chose becoming a coach. I think it's really important, and it's not something I feel like I've shared enough. Hi Olivia. So I know that hi Brandon, happy Monday. I know that before, you guys know this, before coaching, hi Maurice, I didn't live with my husband. Hi Trina, we were working in separate towns because, hi Chelsea, everybody's so nice, yay, happy Monday. We were working in separate towns because of jobs. You know, he got a great opportunity to go out of town, and I was alone in our house, and, you know, I pretty much woke up every day doing the same shit, going to a job I just didn't love. It was a great job, you know, I wasn't fulfilled. I was bored, you know, I'd learn everything that there was to know, and then I'd be like, all right, what's next? Because I need that constant like stimulation and excitement, and nothing was really fulfilling that for me. And I wanted to express my creativity, you know. I wanted to be able to wear whatever I wanted. I wanted to be able to talk and think and, you know, just look like whatever I wanted to do, I wanted to do it, and I didn't want anyone telling me otherwise. And I've always kind of had a problem with that, you know, ever since I was younger. I was very strong in what I believed, and I've always kind of known what I wanted, you know, or when I wanted something and when I didn't, I was very strong on it. Like, I stand up for what I believe in. So like, you know, taking it way back, like in high school, you know, I'd go to parties and I'd hang out with people, and everyone was always smoking cigarettes and cigars, and, you know, it was the cool thing to do. And I was always the one off in the corner, like fanning my nose, like, you know, not smoking. And it was funny because even back then, you know, I always knew, like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that, you know, and I'd always stand up for what I believe in. So I was kind of scrolling Facebook, and I found my coach, and she had this life. Hi, Craig. She had this life that looked awesome, right? She was like traveling. She was in super great shape. And here I was, you know, alone in a house with my husband, or without my husband. And I was like, you know, I would just pretty much eat whatever every night. Like chocolate covered almonds were my favorite from Costco. You know, you buy the big tub. And that'd pretty much be my dinner. Hi, Anna. So, keeping on track. I'm totally brain farting because it's Monday and I'm all excited and packing for our trip and running errands. Rewind. Yeah, so I was miserable basically in my situation, right? And I followed my coach, and I realized, wow, she changed her life. She did it, and she's normal just like me. So why can't I? And she started to show me, like, you can. And I was like, okay, so what do I have to do? And it was really simple. I just had to make different choices, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. The only difference is what we do at that time, right? That's literally the only difference. What do we do with that time that we're given? Because we're all given the same amount. And so I realized that, you know, like, she was telling me these things, and I started reading all these personal development books when I jumped in. Obviously I didn't read personal development before because I thought that was for weirdos and people that had something wrong with them. And it's funny because I look at people now, like when I'm walking around and someone's like struggling with something, in my head I'm like, oh my God, they need personal development, because it just improves who you are. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means you want to be better, right? So when I jumped into coaching, I started jumping in headfirst into personal development. And I started learning a lot about myself, and I remember reading this passage in a book, and it's like, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I don't say this to be a dick at all. I say this because this is reality. You know, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most of your time with. And so I looked at my close circle of friends and the people I was spending the most of my time with in that time of my life, and I realized, you know, as I was reading the book, if people around you that you're spending the most of your time with don't have something that you want, like, you're gonna end up like them. Like, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most of your time with. And I was like, shit. Like, it was kind of a reality check for me, like, whoa, like, you know, not hating on anyone, because, you know, maybe their lives are exactly how they wanted it to be, and that's really freaking awesome for them, and maybe they're so happy working for a boss and grinding and, you know, living paycheck to paycheck and all that bullshit, but I wasn't. And so once I realized, like, wow, all these people I'm taking advice from and surrounding myself with have nothing that I want to achieve in life, like, I need to step my game up, and I need to start submerging myself into this community of people that are thriving and growing and want more. And the initial reason why I wanted to be a coach and why I joined this community was for the community, for the support, because I realized all these people want more out of life like I do, right? Like, I was tired of being stagnant. I was tired of being miserable. I was tired of being sick. I was tired of being sick and tired. Like, I just didn't feel good in all aspects of my life. And when I had that epiphany of like, oh my God, everyone around me is doing the exact same thing that I don't want, I'm never gonna get anywhere if I don't make changes. And I don't say that to be an asshole, you guys. All my friends that from back in the day, don't get offended. Like, this is my life, and that was my realization, and that's why I decided to go a different route and make different fucking choices, because I wanted a different life. I wanted a better life. I was tired of settling, you know, and I wanted to be surrounded by supportive people that cared about me. When I started reading personal development, I read this book called The Compound Effect, and it taught me that small actions over time yield results. So like, for instance, it says if you drink or you eat a cookie every single day, maybe it's not a big deal in the moment. It's not, right? It's not a big deal in the moment. And then you eat it and you eat it and you eat it and eat it. And a year goes by and you've gained 10 pounds and you're like, why? You know, because it adds up. And so I was like, shit, like, this is working against me when I could be having this work for me. So I started making different choices, like working out every day, eating right every day, you know, showing up for myself, reading personal development. And at first I was only reading like 5 to 10 pages, but then I realized how much it was changing my life and making me a better person and making me like equipped with the tools to like thrive in life, in my brain, because everything is a mindset. Like, we can do fitness programs and we can do, you know, eating plans, but if our minds aren't right, we're never going to get anywhere with anything, because our minds are the foundation to what we build upon. Like, that's the structure, that's what holds us. And if we don't have a stable foundation, which are our minds, everything else is going to crumble, because you can be super fit and super awesome and go to the gym and get buff and blah, but if your mind isn't right and you aren't confident in who you are and you don't know what you're doing or why you're doing it, like, you're still going to feel like shit. You can look awesome and feel like shit. Like, that's the truth, right? So I went off on a rampage there, but I joined coaching because of the community, because the people we're pushing each other to be better. Nobody put anybody down. If you made a mistake, they're literally like, you can't fail, be yourself, Candace. And I'm like, what does that mean, be myself? What do you want me to do? And they're like, whatever you want to do, however you want to dress, however you want to talk, however you want to act, we want you to do that, because that's you and that's real. And I was like, what? Right? Finally, a place that encouraged me to be 100% me. So that was really important to me, you guys, because I spent a lot of my life not fitting in. I spent a lot of my life feeling like I wished I was someone else. I spent a lot of my life wishing I could fast forward Monday through Friday. I wanted to fast forward 5 days out of every week, which if you do the math, 5 times 300, you know, whatever the math is for that, that's a lot. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot of life that I wished I could just fast forward because I wasn't happy with who I was and what I was doing. So I decided to make a change. You know, and you don't say it like that and it happened overnight. You know, it took me a long time and it took me a lot of hard work to get here and to build this person that I am. But I took the first step. I jumped in, you know, and I started surrounding myself with people that wanted the same thing as me. I realized that I was stuck in a place in life where I was surrounded by people, you know, that were okay with settling, and fine, that's fine, do you, dude. But for me, I wanted more. I want to travel, I want to adventure, I want to be my own boss, I want to wear whatever I want to wear, I want to wake up whenever I want to wake up, I want to work late till 2 a.m. if I feel like it, you know, like, I want to be able to do whatever I want to do because it's my choice, it's my life. And I realized through coaching I could build that. If I showed up, if I stayed consistent, if I did the things that seemed freaking small in the moment but added up great over time, right? So back to the Compound Effect. So I was reading that book and it says, you know, do you control your habits or whatever, or do they control you? And in that moment, I was struggling kind of with drinking. With, you know, I wasn't an alcoholic, but alcoholism does run in my family, and I realized that when I went out to drink, you know, it was usually because I was upset about something and I wanted to get away. And I just kind of had that epiphany light bulb moment again. Like, thank you, personal development, right? I wouldn't have known if I didn't read that book. And that book wasn't because I was broken. That book was because I want to be better. So I read, do you control your, you know, habits, or does it control you? And I realized, you know, the drinking controlled me because I'd go out and I would drink to get drunk. I don't like the taste of alcohol, like, unless it's a Bloody Mary, but I can have that plain without alcohol. It doesn't need vodka, right? Because it's like tomato soup, which is delicious, but, and spicy. But, I didn't have control over that. Like, so that was my intention every time I went out. So after reading that book, The Compound Effect, I was like, oh, you know, and then I talked to a friend and we're like, let's see how long we can just not drink. And I made that commitment with her. You know, originally I said it was for her, and I was just really curious to see if I could control that, you know. And fast forward to today, actually I'm still going to talk about back then because it's important. So that was around October, November of 2014 when I first became a coach. I tanked my business in November of 2014. I was a new coach as of July in 2014. I tanked my business because going out and drinking away my feelings and being miserable was more important to me than showing up, taking care of myself, and helping other people. That stings, right? That sucks, you guys. Like, going out and drinking and partying and just numbing, you know, my misery of Cody and I living apart was more important to me than helping other people. November of 2014, I tanked my business, okay? I, like, didn't have any of my goals. I felt like a piece of crap. And after that, in that moment, you know, I went to my support system, my community, my coaches, you know, my upline coach, and I was like, I need help. Like, you know, what am I going to do? And she's like, well, it's up to you. You know, what are you going to do, basically? And I was just like, okay, I have a choice. I can continue down this road of like, wham, poor me, blah, 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 or I can take control. And so in December of 2014, I decided on New Year's, that day, that I wasn't going to drink anymore. And I didn't decide it for forever. I just said for a while, just to see if I controlled it. And I just kept going, and it felt really good. And the more I went to things sober, the more I realized I didn't need alcohol, and the more I realized I was using it as a crutch. And I know there's a lot of babes that are really fucking amazing on my team that are also kicking alcohol and are also trying to drink less. And there are also awesome babes on my team that enjoy a glass of wine every now and then because they like it, and that there's nothing fucking wrong with that. But for me, it wasn't okay. And so in January of 2015, I will have been sober for over 2 years. I don't know what that even, I'm not even doing the math right now, maybe almost 2.5 years. And to be honest with you, I'm never going to go back. You know, it allowed me to learn who I really am and grow and go to like weddings without needing to get drunk to dance, you know, because I wouldn't dance unless I was drunk. It allowed me to go to the bar and just like be and realize like, wow, this isn't really where I want to be in life, like surrounded by all these people, because I'm a really strong introvert too. So I think that also had something to do with drinking, because I was always pressured everywhere I went before coaching to be an extrovert because I didn't know myself. And that's just the society that we live in. Be outgoing, be an extrovert, blah, 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 you know? But I realized being an introvert, there's a lot of strengths, you know? I think a lot about things, and when I do have things to say, honestly, they're more profound. And I'm not saying that because I think I'm awesome. Like, God, I'm a nerd. But, I feel like when I do finally have something to say, it's important. It's not just like, hi, I'm here to talk for the sake of hearing me fucking making noise, you know, like, and because like Haley just said, like, it's crazy because of my choice to join this community, because I wanted to be a part of something more, something bigger, something great. I wanted to step away from where I was in my life and move up. I wanted to thrive in life and just know me, you know, and be me. And like, if I want to wear a beanie today because I have like crazy bedhead, like I can. I couldn't wear this in my cubicle job. I would look like a little homeless person. But like, because of me making all these decisions and showing up every day and sharing my journey, which is coaching, by the way, showing up, taking care of yourself and sharing your journey and inviting people to join you. Oh my God, that's coaching. It's not scary. It's not rocket science. It just takes commitment. And what's crazy is most people won't do it, but I don't know why, because it's fucking amazing. I have the opportunity to help other people that used to feel like I felt. That's why I choose this, because I know what it's like to be depressed. I know what it's like to be miserable. I know what it's like to feel stuck. I know what it's like to just wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, this is my life and I hate it. I wish I didn't have to go to work today. If I had even a penny for every day I thought that in my life, I would be freaking rich, right? Like, I was always thinking, how can I get up? Like, how can I get out of getting up today? That was like my thought. Am I sick? And I'd pretend like, oh, I don't feel good. Call in like, hey, like, I don't feel good today, but like, you just woke up, so you sounded hella raspy, right? But like, the best feeling ever is just knowing that because I show up and I share relentlessly everything, I share everything with you guys, that in itself can help someone realize that they don't have to settle. If you want more, you deserve it. Whatever you want, you deserve it, and you can have it. And that's the crazy thing. Like, coaching is a vehicle that has allowed me to go from one place to the other and keep going, right? It's like a vehicle with an endless amount of fuel supply. Like, I'm never going to stop. And what's crazy to me is this week, it didn't finally just hit me, but you know how introverts have to process stuff. So this week, it's like Saturday, Cody and I are going to be on our way to Punta Cana in the Dominican. That's the second vacation Beachbody is paid for me, for showing up, taking care of myself, being 100% me, sharing it with people, helping other people do the same thing. Like, what? Right? Like, when I got rewarded at my other jobs, I got a pen and it didn't work. Let me just tell you, this is insane. I still have it because it was like this pretty red sparkly pen, and it's like heavy and metal and it was special, but it didn't work. Like, I got it and it didn't work. Like, how fucking stupid is that? Okay? Like, whatever. But, yeah, basically I just wanted to show up and say hi, and this is why I choose this, and this is why I will choose this every single day. It is the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. I do not want you guys to just see my highlight reel and think that my life is awesome, because people message me all the time and they're like, oh, you're so lucky. I'm like, no, I'm not. Actually, I'm not lucky. Like, I built this, and I built it because I knew I deserved it, and I want you to know you do too. And if you're interested in, something like this, I can help you build it too, but you have to work. Like, God, you can't just come in here. Like, it's our dream life. Like, you can't just come in here and it falls in your lap. Like, no. And if it did that, you would take it for granted and it wouldn't be worth anything anyways, because the only things that we're freaking proud of are things that we work hard for, right? Like, our bodies, our fitness, our character, like who we are, like our homes, things that we work hard for. That's what's worth it. So, whatever. And rant, I'm going to go into town because I have to go ship some stuff and print some things for my taxes and do, adult. I have to go adult. But I love you guys and I really appreciate the support. Yeah. Mwah.